Good morning, y'all. This is Cherie with the Speak Life Podcast. I am your host, your innovator, your motivator, and your storyteller. Coming to you live today to have a conversation. The conversation today is about winning. Winning. Years ago, we used to hear the slogan, born to win. Born to win. Yes, while we are born to win, the sad part is, in order to win, we have to lose. There's a lot of things we have to lose. We have to lose our attitude. We have to lose our pride. We have to lose our emotional attachments to things that are not healthy for us. I was watching the movie. If you have not seen it, this is a pitch for the movie, The Overcomer. It is an excellent movie. It had so many things in it that you could take away. And it wasn't just about winning, but it was the way the winning took place and how everything had a particular story to it, just like your life has a particular story to it. Perhaps if you're like me and your story is starting later rather than earlier, then you got to get that connection and grasp it. I grew up with very low self-esteem. I didn't even look at people in the eye. I was bullied from age 9 to about 13. Only a few people knew about this. I didn't tell my parents. It was horrible for me. I was afraid. The spirit of suicide hovered over me for many, many years. I was a complete mess. I was afraid of my own shadow for a very long time. And I don't, for the life of me, understand how. Well, I understand now, but I didn't understand what was keeping me, what was driving me. I was home alone a lot, and I used to watch documentaries about different things, and that's what piqued my interest. So I always wanted to be something. When I was 14, I discovered boys in the wrong way, and I ended up at 15 becoming a teen mother. Not only a teen mother, but I was afraid, because remember, I know some of you who are my age probably heard this from your parents. If you get pregnant, I'll kill you. Well, I literally believed that. I literally believed that my daddy was going to kill me. God bless the dead. God bless him. But I was afraid of my father like that. So I hid the pregnancy for 7 months. 7 long months, until my mother finally looked at me and discovered it. And I was relieved after that. But I say that to say, when I was in those moments, I felt so alone. I felt like such a failure and a disappointment. I did not see my way out of anything. My dad was not an advocate of girls going to school pregnant, so I had to stay home for a year, which put me 1 year behind from my class and the people that I had grown up with in school. But let me tell you something. Something on the inside, when I went back and returned to school, I was determined to graduate from high school. And not only graduate from high school, but I wanted to go to college, baby and all. And I did. But that wasn't easy either. Then I went on to the next thing. Going through college. Was unrestricted, didn't understand, a lot of things that were going on, became distracted. Then after the third year, I met my first husband and got distracted with that and overwhelmed. And, we got married, we had a baby, and school was on the back burner for many years, and I suffered job after job, menial jobs where people were so mean to me. You had to be scared to go to work. And let me tell you something. Let me just take a sidebar there, okay? If you are scared of your boss and you have to be afraid to go to work every day, afraid to go to the bathroom, afraid to take a coffee break, or wipe your nose or whatever, then you need to reevaluate that. Because nobody should work in an environment that's hostile, where you have to be afraid of a boss. I looked them in. I'm not afraid of you. I like y'all. We are cordial. I'll do whatever you ask me to do. I'm not nasty or disrespectful, but I will not be afraid of you. And this was something that I discovered. There's nobody I have to be accountable to but God, and then everyone else is secondary. So getting back to the story, I never in my mind, so after I felt like such a failure, I never saw myself going to college. Returning to college. I used to cry. I used to walk across the college campus where I went to school and literally cry and beg God and say, God, if you give me one more chance, one more opportunity to complete my education, Lord, I'll do anything. I'll use it for good. I won't waste my time like I did those 3 years that you gave me in college. I won't make a mess of things. I was 29 years old and my marriage had fell apart. I was on baby number 4, y'all. Baby number 4. I was so distraught, so upset, that I had to go into counseling and therapy because my marriage was falling apart. And I knew that it wasn't going to go back together. It wasn't going to last. And I had no plan. He made much more money than I did. I had these kids to feed. So I went to a group that my church had, and I met a counselor, and I went to see her. We connected, and she helped me get through the rough time. But I always had the spirit to win. Through all of those losses, I had the spirit of a winner. The spirit of a winner. You see, God told me to make some changes in my life. And I was afraid of those changes. One of them was pick up and move to Arizona. Arizona, of all places, I've never been there before. But a friend of mine was living there, and she was telling me that the opportunities for women at that time were phenomenal. You can get housing, you can get your education for free if you come here. So I finally said, you know what, I'm leaving. I took my 2 youngest children and got on the Greyhound bus, the God-forsaken Greyhound bus. Every time I see one, I just, something happens on the inside. So I got on this Greyhound bus, and I started my journey. Moved to Arizona, and it took me a year to gain residency. And things were rough even then, finding a job and trying to manage children and daycare and all of these things were going on at one time, and I'm like, oh Lord, how am I going to make it? And then I got an opportunity to go back to school. I had to kind of go around the back door. I had to go to a community college and take classes over again that I had already taken, or add another class. But at the same time, I was in school. I was in community college for free. Okay, they had a program called Women in Progress, and I was definitely her. Got through Women in Progress, and the credits that I formerly had from the previous school, I could transfer them over. So I was closer to my degree than I thought. So I transferred those credits over, and I was able to transfer to the University of Arizona. And I went there for a year and a half, and I earned my bachelor's degree. Fast forward to years later, I went back to school to get my master's degree. No clue in my mind that I would ever do that. No confidence at all. But I have it now. And I'm not afraid of any bosses. I'm not afraid of any job. If I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. It's not meant for me. But I have the ability to do, through God, whatever I need to do. I was born to win. I've had the winning spirit all my life. As I said previously in my podcast, I do not believe that people get up in the morning and say to themselves, I don't want to win today. I don't want to do nothing. I don't believe that. I believe somewhere in the back of their mind, they want to win. Everybody wants to win, but you have to lose before you win. I go to basketball games every week for my grandchildren, but particularly my grandson, who plays ball who gives everything he has to basketball, every ounce of energy to his game. And when he loses, something just snaps on the inside. And I keep telling him, child, losing develops your character. Losing develops your character. Losing is what's going to get you to the next level and prepare you for the winning. Because see, when you get to the winning side, you are going to see things differently. You'll be humble. You'll be grateful for the win. Grateful for the win. Grateful for those things in life that God has ordained you to have. Grateful. Because if you were just handed things without any sacrifice, we see that every day with spoiled children. You know, when we see spoiled children, you know, they just think, oh, more. But when you have to be sacrificing things, when you have to lose, literally lose, when basketball games where people are beating you by 20 and 30 points, which is quite a spread, and you take that humiliation, and then after a while, you figure out the strategy and you learn how to win. First of all, point 1, don't write off your losses. Always examine and remember why it was you lost in the first place. Did you not practice? Did you not prepare? Examine yourself. Examine what happened.